Thank you for tuning in to Terry Swoop Videos. This is my top 10 video on the most beautiful black women of the 1980s. And what I liked about the women of the 80s is most of the women were naturally curvy. You didn't have all this plastic surgery back then. You didn't have booty shots. You didn't have Brazilian butt lifts. You didn't have all the tummy tucks. Most of these Instagram models that you see that have the itty bitty waist and the wide hips and the perfect hourglass figures, most of these women on Instagram are fake. But what I loved about the women of the 1980s is most of these women were naturally built. They didn't have all this cosmetic surgery going on back then. Now, coming in at number 10 on my list is Jackee. Jackee is mostly known for the TV show 227, where she played Sandra Clark.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary. Oh, Mary, I'm so glad you're here. I need help.
You know, I was just saying to Rose this morning, that child needs help.
No, Mary, I resent that. Mary, it isn't fair, Mary. Oh, Mary, no. Mary Jenkins. Mary. Oh, Mary. Mary, it's for you. Ooh, Mary. Oh, come on, Mary. Let's show her how to do it.
Coming in at number 9 on my list is Ola Ray. Ola Ray was a beautiful actress and model during the 1980s, and she's mostly known for the Michael Jackson music video. Coming in at number 8 on my list is Shirley Headley. Shirley was mostly known for the Coming to America movie. And I always wondered why she never got more movie roles. I thought she was a great actress, and this woman was beautiful. Coming in at number 7 on my list is Karyn White. Karyn White was an R&B singer during the 1980s, and I always thought this woman was gorgeous. Her most popular song was I'm Not Your Superwoman. Coming in at number 6 is Holly Robinson. Holly Robinson is mostly known for the TV show 21 Jump Street. And this was one of the most popular TV shows of the 80s. This is what started off Johnny Depp's career. And this woman was beautiful. She was huge eye candy for a lot of teenage boys throughout the 80s. Coming in at number 5 on my list is Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis was a popular singer during the 80s. And when she was young, I thought she looked a lot like Beyonce, even though I thought she was a better singer than Beyonce. Unfortunately, she passed away at a young age, but this woman will never be forgotten. She will always go down in history as one of the most beautiful black women of the 80s.
What good is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet? It ain't the melody. No, it ain't the music. That makes the tune complete. Well, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got the swing. Don't mean a thing, all you got to do is sing. Makes a difference if it's sweet or hot. I said to give a rhythm.
Coming in at number 4 on my list is Flojo. Florence Griffith is one of the most beautiful women of the 80s, and she was an Olympic medalist who broke the world record in the 100 meters, and she also broke the world record in the 200 meters. And these records still hold today, over 30 years later. Unfortunately, she passed away at a young age, but this woman will never be forgotten. People are going to be talking about her 100 years from now. And coming in at number 3 on my list is Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson has always been beautiful. If you were to do a top 10 list on the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, she would be in the top 10 because this woman has always been beautiful. Coming in at number 2 on my list is Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston is looked at as one of the greatest singers of all time. Most people think she is the greatest singer of all time. And Whitney Houston was beautiful. She's a classical beauty. What a lot of people may not know is that she actually started off as a model in the early 80s as a teenager, and she transitioned into a singer, and she released her first album in 1984. And the winner of my top 10 list, the most beautiful black woman of the 1980s, is Vanity, aka Denise Matthews. Is hands down the most beautiful black woman of the 1980s. Now, she's mostly known for the movie The Last Dragon. She's known for numerous movies like Action Jackson. She played in numerous shows. This woman was gorgeous. And she also released 4 albums. After she broke up with Prince in 1982, she released 4 R&B albums that sold gold. So she was hugely popular, hugely successful during the 1980s. But unfortunately, she passed away at a young age. She died of kidney disease in 2016. And I was always a huge fan of Denise Matthews. I had a huge crush on her when I was a kid, and I was sad to see that she passed away. But I was glad to see that she changed her life around before she passed away. A lot of people have different opinions about this topic. Tell me your top 10. Do you agree with my top 10? Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe.
You're into that fame and fortune. What happens is you get so caught up in it that everybody expects you to be a certain way. So you don't want to disappoint them.
Well, let me ask you something. Now, I want to ask you about that because when, people say, well, you have made it to the top. I mean, you have arrived.
Oh,
so
God.
obviously, I mean, this is it. What could make Vanity sad inside?
Because I hated what I did. I hated that I even took off my clothes. It upset me so much. I remember there was a time when I was working on Action Jackson. I said to my manager, I started crying. I said, I don't want to take off my clothes. And they said, well, you have to, or you're not going to do the film. Well, guess what? That's just another one of Satan's lies. And you know something? I gave in because I wasn't walking with God. Like most of us, we do give in to Satan when we're not walking with God, right?